What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga breakdown review, where today we're going to be reviewing a fan manga entitled Dragon Ball Multiverse, which is a fan-made manga set within its own timeline outside of the main canon of Akira Toriyama and Toei Animation, involving both characters from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, as the overall concept of Dragon Ball Multiverse involves universes from all timelines and dimensions to gather together and battle in one tournament in order to determine which one of the many participating universes competing in this tournament will be the first to obtain the prize of the Dragon Balls for their own personal usage. As for many years now, I've been reviewing and introducing all kinds of Dragon Ball fan mangas to the world created by the community for the community, so if you guys are interested in seeing and reading up on incredible stories and concepts such as Dragon Ball AF, Dragon Ball Legendary, Dragon Ball New Age, Dragon Ball X, and many others, then feel free to check out the Dragon Ball fan manga playlist in the description box for more videos such as this, as right now we are going to be diving into a brand new manga chapter. As before we begin, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to be the first to know when a new video is posted onto this channel, as we kick off the Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 41 special, and having to look back on an attempted colonization led by none other than Frieza and his army. Now, this particular chapter doesn't have any direct correlation as to what happens later on, but more or less having to look back on what exactly happened between Frieza and his men, and the art style for this, I would have to say, in my opinion, did not match the current art style of Dragon Ball Multiverse. So for me, this was one of my least favorite chapters, as there was no direct correlation in what we saw happen with Frieza or Gast or anybody else involved, especially in this manga chapter, having to witness Frieza having to battle against a very particular Namekian, which finished him off in that specific universe. So if you had to ask me, this chapter holds no relevance as to what happens later on down the road, but I will say that the overall art style is different, not exactly fulfilling or to my liking, but nonetheless does connect as to what exactly transpired prior to this actual tournament being a thing. Now, as we move on forward into Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 42, we resume the bloody battle between Vegeta and Raichi's ghosts, as we've seen prior in Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 40, how Vegeta by the end of that chapter was seemingly cut by someone. As we see Vegeta begin to fall to the ground, Raichi goes on to state, "My ghosts cooperate even in death. They have no reason to fear it. However, when they die, I cannot reuse them during the time they require to recharge." As one of the remaining ghosts in the ring goes on to state, "He was able to survive my sword strike." As a bloody and damaged Vegeta goes on to state, "The body of that brat cushioned the attack. You can't cut two Super Saiyans so easily." Vegeta's blade, as he shoots out a blade of his own, cutting the soldier in half. As right before the soldier is about to unleash his god blade, we see how Vegeta strikes him down before he can do so. And while this happens, Vegeta looks on over at Raichi and stating, "I destroyed all of your pawns, and I still have more than enough strength to finish you." As out of nowhere we see how someone begins to laugh, as Vegeta's getting suspicious. He turns around and notices that one of the remaining Cell Juniors is still alive, as Vegeta states, "No." As Raichi goes on to state, "It's over for you." With Piccolo and Goku looking on, Piccolo goes on to state, "Their powers are close enough. Even if Vegeta wasn't injured, he would not be guaranteed to win." With Goku having to state he forgot that from the whole gang, the little one was the strongest. As Vegeta attempts to swoop on in and cutting down Cell Jr., he misses, with Cell Jr. having to teleport behind Vegeta and stating, "Hee hee, you missed me." And every single time Vegeta goes on the attack, he misses, but Cell Jr. looks like he's bringing the fight to Vegeta, because he's the one that's beating Vegeta on down into the dirt now. And even though Vegeta is injured, it goes as far as to show that his power is almost as equal to Cell Jr. And of course, with Cell Jr. having to be fresh, this is not looking good for Vegeta. As Vegeta is bloody on the ground, he goes on to state, "Me, Vegeta, the Emperor of the Universe, ridiculed by this pipsqueak. I have not yet tapped the full potential of the Saiyan race. There is better." As he reminisces and looking back at Super Saiyan 3, he remembers Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, he remembers Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he remembers Super Saiyan 3 Vegito, as he goes on even looking at Gohan and stating, "I am the weakest of my group," and looking back at even what the Kaioshin stated and saying, "What? You think you deserve my power? Get out of here." And as Vegeta looks back and he thinks about all the other Saiyans that were able to achieve Super Saiyan 3, that were able to achieve such levels of power, Vegeta goes on to cry out BS as he begins to power up. We see the flames, the electricity, everything is emanating around Vegeta as he slowly begins to fulfill his destiny. The Emperor of the Saiyan race begins to transform. We see a very familiar hairstyle, very familiar eyebrows, as at long last a bloody and damaged Vegeta is able to at long last finally achieve Super Saiyan 3, in which I love the way Vegeta is depicted in utilizing this transformation because he just looks barbaric and epic in every sense of the word. Now, as Vegeta achieves Super Saiyan 3, he does his traditional pose by pointing at himself and stating, "Here, I am at long last. Hyper Vegeta." As Kakarot and Raditz begin to speak, Kakarot goes on to state, "Ah, damn, I wanted to get to that level before him," as Raditz states, "Well, if you'd be able to at least." And all the while, Piccolo, Vegito, and Gohan are by the stands as Piccolo says, "What an immense power increase." And Cell Jr. is like, eek, he can't believe what's about to happen because of course now Vegeta has become stronger. And as Vegeta closes in, he teleports behind Cell Jr. and with one simple swoop, he hits Cell Jr. so hard that he immediately decapitates Cell Jr. in front of everybody. In which I thought personally this was a very, very barbaric scene in seeing what Vegeta did to him, as Vegeta immediately notices Raichi and charging right for him and crying out, "It's over." But Raichi uses his shield. Now, as Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is attempting to break the shield, we see how the shield is beginning to crack. Raichi can't hold it any longer, and just before you know it, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is able to crack right through Raichi's shields. Now, this is a big moment for Vegeta because he finally manages to knock Raichi on down to the floor. As Gohan goes on to state he's certain to win now, Goku goes on to state, "Wait, I'm not so sure." And as Vegeta is looking down at Raichi, I love how there's blood coming from his mouth, from his chest. He goes on to tell Raichi, "You're finished." And Raichi has nothing to say, but then immediately Vegeta powers back down. As Goku says, this Vegeta got fooled by level 3, which devours all of your energy quickly. It's opposite to the other stages, which actually revitalizes you. In addition, banged up as he is, it gave him even less time to hold it, which basically insinuates that since Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta wasn't able to hold that form long, being that not only was he damaged, but he didn't have any experience in that form, it looked like it had been over for Vegeta at this point, as Pan goes on to state, "Wait, they're both in trouble," and Raichi's on the floor. He's huffing, he's puffing, but it in fact is far from over as Raichi summons his final ghost, that having to be Vegeta. As Vegeta emerges, he goes on to state, "Let's finish in style with the real Vegeta." And Emperor Vegeta at this point, he's huffing, he's puffing, he knows at this point that not only is he depleted from energy, but he's basically screwed. As the other Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan, he sticks his hands out and completely blows away Emperor Vegeta. And Raichi begins to laugh because everything that Emperor Vegeta had done up until this very point has been useless, because not only did he burn himself out, but he fought a clone of himself, a ghost variation of himself, and got completely blown away from the arena, as the tournament holders go on to state victory of Raichi from Universe 3. And Kakarot's laughing and stating, "You all suck. I'm the only one that's still in the competition." As the tournament holders continue, they announce last fight of the round, Gast from Universe 7 against Great Demon King Piccolo of Universe 3. As Demon King Piccolo goes on to state, "It's about time. It was supposed to be my chapter after all." As he steps forward in the ring against Gast, Gast goes on to state, "Couldn't you find a more pretentious name?" As Demon King Piccolo goes on to state, "Says the guy named after a Namek deity." As Gast says, "Don't play like that. I'm aware you know nothing of Nameks." As Demon King Piccolo responds by stating, "You're right. I'm not a Namek. I am the ultimate evil. You're opposite." As Gast says, "You are an animalistic Namekian corrupted by evil. I know. Besides you are too weak for me." As Demon King Piccolo says, "Weak? I'm not so sure." As he begins to power up, we see how even Piccolo says, "Wait, that's me?" And Goku's like, wait, that's you? And Piccolo's like, wait, yeah, this demon Piccolo, he isn't just my evil half, he's also merged with Kami-sama. He's fully complete, just like me. So this version of Demon King Piccolo is what it would have been like if Kami had also fused with Demon King Piccolo, but had remained purely evil. As Demon King Piccolo goes in for the kill, he attacks Gast, but Gast moves out of the way, and Gast is easily able to fend himself off as Demon King Piccolo's trying to hit him from all angles. As Goku says, do you think he trapped Kami? With Piccolo stating, no. To be fully absorbed, you must be fully consenting. When Nail and Kami-sama did it for me, I only had to touch them and wait. This is weird, as Gast immediately hits Demon King Piccolo with one simple flick of the wrist. We see how he goes down. Gast goes on to state, you are very powerful for a Namek, bravo, but I'm even more phenomenal. You have no chance. And as for being an absolute evil, you delude yourself. There are those far worse around us. We are surrounded by criminals without remorse, but you're inhabited by a kindness and love for others. As this infuriates Demon King Piccolo, he responds by stating, what are you talking about, fool? I slaughter humans by the dozen every day just for fun. There's not even half of the population left on Earth. As Gast says, you give yourself airs, but you are not that evil. The two robots there, they killed all of them. They really hate humans, and as of that, you are not absolute evil. Among other reasons, when you merge with your other half, you were corrupted by goodness. As Demon King Piccolo says, what? Gast goes on by stating you love the earth and the humans. Goodness grows inside of you, and soon you will be converted. You won't make men suffer anymore. You will be good. And Demon King Piccolo's going crazy. He's like, you're crazy. I can control myself perfectly and I will never do good. As Gast says, but you want to, don't you? When you see these people, you want to protect them, to save them. Don't repress it. Stop fighting. Let yourself be overwhelmed by the benevolence. It is unavoidable. It is your destiny. As Demon King Piccolo says, I would rather be deaf than listen to this, and completely rips his own ears out. So all that Gast was trying to do was trying to get Demon King Piccolo to convert into being a good guy, and basically having to have somewhat of a psychological influence on Demon King Piccolo, but it failed because he ripped his own ears out just to stop Gast from talking. As this happens, Demon King Piccolo begins to whistle. As Gast replies, what's that sound? It's horrible, and that's when Demon King Piccolo takes advantage in kneeing Gast in the jaw and then punching him in the face. Now as this is happening, Demon King Piccolo does have the advantage momentarily because as he's beating up Gast, he's whistling, and whistling seems to be his weakness. As King Kai goes on to state for a Namek, the sound wave of a whistle is as unbearable as the screeching on a chalkboard. This sound coming from the earth puts Gast in real trouble. As Demon King Piccolo holds the advantage, he begins to whistle some more and knocking Gast around. As even Goten says, but wait, he's stupid, why doesn't he just pull his ear off too like the other one did? Which he does bring up a fair point, but then Gast grabs Demon King Piccolo by the face as he goes on to state, please, I'm searching for a challenge where I can. As Goten says, wait, he heard me. And Piccolo in the background, we see him covering up his ears. As the tournament holder says, sir, it's forbidden to help a participant even with tips. As Goten says, but I wasn't talking to him. As Demon King Piccolo breaks free, Gast immediately flicks Demon King Piccolo on down to the ground, and it's basically over. As the tournament holders cry out, Gast from Universe 7 wins. And as Gast walks on over, he goes on to tell Demon King Piccolo, you still have a long way to go, and heals him as Demon King Piccolo awakens. He sits up and saying, I'm healed? As Gast says, think about what makes you really happy. Torturing people or watching them be happy under your protection. Think about it genuinely and unprejudiced. You don't have to find the answer now, just think about it. As we see Yamcha and Tien begin to talk, Tien goes on to state, what are you doing? As Yamcha states, I'm writing this one down, this is some good stuff. As the tournament holders go on to state, we want to thank all the participants from the second round. Before dinner, we have a surprise for all of you. As we notice a ship begin to emerge at the actual arena, it brings down somewhat of a smaller space pod. As it descends down lower, we see the Dragon Balls. Cooler, Frieza, and King Cold are shocked as the tournament holders go on to state, for security reasons, it's strictly forbidden for anyone to get out of their seats or of their respective universe areas. As Vegeta powers up into a Super Saiyan, he goes on to state, "Well said. I will disintegrate anyone who crosses the low wall without warning. I'm fed up with panty wishes." As Gast looks on over, he notices King Cold, Frieza, and Cooler, as he goes on to state, "Don't even think about it. Half of the stadium is watching you anyway." As even the Kaioshins begin to speak and saying, "Is everything alright with the prisoner?" As the Grand Kaioshin goes on to state, "Yes, but he won't try anything, you know, especially since, his own powers are much greater than the powers of the Dragon Balls, so he'll be put here." As one of the remaining tournament holders goes on to state, "The ring's been removed, you can summon it now." As we see the Namekians begin to call forth the dragon, out of the blue Porunga appears. As Porunga states, "You have collected all 7 Dragon Balls. You may now name your 3 wishes." And everyone in the tournament is at awe because they've never seen Porunga before. As the Namekians begin to speak, the Namek in making the wish goes on to state, "Please restore the lives of those who have died because of our tournament." As Porunga says, "That's easy." Trunks goes on to state their dragon can even revive several persons with the same wish, with Piccolo stating they anticipated this, with Goku stating, "Wait, do you think Broly will come back?" As Gohan says, "Well, alive or not, he won't be able to come back from his universe." As we see Pan come back, remaining members of the other universes come back, Bojack comes back, representatives of Cooler's army come back, even some of the tournament holders come back. Many people that were killed ever since the beginning of manga chapter number 1 come back, as Porunga goes on to further state, "What is your second wish?" As one of the Namekians states, "We don't have one. We are saving it for later." As Porunga says, "Alright, farewell." As Trunks says, "Well, they'll be having fun getting those back scattered around the universe. Who will make the grand tour to find them? Definitely not us, right?" As the Dragon Balls turn into stone, Trunks goes on to state, "What?" with Piccolo stating, "Once Porunga is gone, the Dragon Balls return to their creator. The dispersal was intentional, Kami's way of making it into a quest to give people hope." As Trunks says, "Wait, but back on Earth, it's not like that at all, right? So Kami's son did that on purpose." As one of the tournament holders goes on to ask how much time before we can use them again, as one of the Namekians replies by stating approximately 40 days. Next time we'll use a set from another universe. As it further states a little later, Shin goes on to state thanks for coming. As he sits down with one of the other Kaioshins, the other Kaioshin goes on to state, "What is this secret meeting?" As Shin says, "Don't you think that the great Kaioshin has had a very strange attitude lately?" As the Kaioshin goes on to state, "I do. It's not normal that he'd forgive Boo and just take personal responsibility for him. He would always put safety first." As Shin says, "I think he's under Boo's control, and Boo is pretending to be his prisoner." As Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 42 comes to an end. Now the whole ordeal with Vegeta was great, especially following manga chapter 40. Vegeta was so ruthless in that manga chapter, it was quite ironic to see a duplicate version of him just put him down out of his misery in losing that tournament round, but it was pretty cool to see how Gast was also trying his best to basically get Demon King Piccolo to understand that what he was doing wasn't necessarily his own bidding, in the fact that he still had some good left within him and he was trying to draw that out. So I really enjoyed this manga chapter. I definitely preferred Multiverse manga chapter number 40 a bit more just because of its brutality, just because of seeing the action, but I think the pacing now is definitely going to pick up, especially going into the future chapters, because with the newly resurrected warriors, I'm really curious to see if Broly is going to be one among them. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If of course you guys have missed out the previous manga chapters, be sure to go on ahead and check those out. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed and of course love Multiverse, go on ahead and slap a like down below. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to this channel. Tune back in for more. We are nearing 550,000 subscribers. We are almost there, so make sure you guys go on ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge!